just appreciating everyone's tying in of everything. And really makes me notice the transition points between points on the journey, and I'm having this reflection of my own transition points along the journey. It seemed like everything that hasn't been dealt with, like for that part of the journey at the transition point, comes up. All the eyes that haven't been like experiencing unification with emptiness, that are related to that particular part of your journey, like here I am, and they start to freak out. And all the material that comes with it, and I feel like I'm at a major turning point, like the biggest turning point ever. So everything that's not been dealt with, it's available to arise, and it kind of has been, but it's been really soft. Anyway, I'm just reflecting on when I remember a transition point when I was in Italy, 2007 or something, and I was at the hairdresser's. Man, I was at the hairdresser's, and I come in like, hi. And she says a few things to me, and I just collapse, like, oh. And she's not thinking, oh, this is a woman who is having an emotional experience, I'm gonna empathize with her. The way it was coming out of me was like I was crazy, because I was crying, but I was also kind of trying to like direct things, and I was just in total collapse. Like I looked like, and I looked at the mirror, and my hair was like, because she was doing it. So, just thinking about that right now. And how we're looking pretty good. The transition points. But the transition point is like this letting go of everything ever known, right? If you don't let go, you look really crazy. And I've just been reflecting lately how it seems to be the key to everything, this letting go. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like when I've hit transition points before, it's been important to let go, and then something always arises afterward. This is like letting go. There comes a point where letting go is just gone. You're gone forever. Like you're gone forever. Really important to let go of everything ever known or experienced, including yourself. So for me, what that looks like is when I find myself realizing, I'm disoriented. Everything's falling away. I don't know what it is. There can be a tendency to like find or look for the old thing and kind of stabilize in it, and what I've found to be really helpful is to cultivate I don't know anything. Like everything that I've ever known, letting it go. Every person, everything that I've ever been, I just let it go. Like letting it go, letting the things go, letting the one go that had the experiences or that was a certain way, and just keep feeling emptiness as I'm doing that. Doing that right now in my in my own, like where I'm at,
Yeah, I feel like yesterday when I had a couple states of unification, I was like, well, what is that? Because I'll hear your voice saying, well, what does the state of unification feel like, And even that, like, to try to really feel into what that feels like, I get lost in like, I don't know what it feels like, what this feels like or something. And it feels like the go-to is to just keep dropping into stillness. But I also get that I have a fear around nothingness. Because I don't know if I have an attachment to nothingness, but, you know, I have there's definitely a piece of me for a lot of my life where I've just felt blah and nothing, kind of. And so there's like that, there's a fear of, if I just go into the emptiness, I'm just going to become more blah or something, you know. Yeah. But I still am doing my best to allow, like that fear comes up and I just hold it. Because what feels like the thing to do is to just keep dropping in distance and then just paying attention. Like, or just, if something arises, like deal with it, otherwise just be okay with.
Have you gone into blah?
Yeah. I have quite a few times, but I can't say I've felt unification around it.
When you're working in that area, like when you become, that's how I feel it anyway. It's like, and I don't feel much distinction between that and the emptiness, you know, because it just feels like emptiness plus.
Right, I don't feel a lot of difference between it sometimes.
Okay, so the trick with that is when you're working with identity, almost nothing will appear in contrast. So when you say I, there'll be a slight contrast in the experience, and it's calling you to refine the awareness. So a lot of times when you say I, it'll be like, I'm gonna kill you, or I'm blah. You know, they maybe started there. I'm blah. But then it gets to like, I'm exaggerating a little bit. This is the identity. There's no thought yet.
Right.
There's no thought. There's actually before thought even forms. So then you have to you go into this space of preconceptual identity where it's very subtle, usually spatial, and some kind of physical experience. And so it helps like tease out the absolute or the emptiness from the experience so that you can hold them together.
And I think I haven't gone into blah in probably a couple months. I think it would be I feel like I have better awareness, I guess, of some of those subtler things. Like I can pick up on subtle things better now or something. So it might be a good time to revisit it to see, because I think it's that subtlety that I had a hard time, even feeling or having an awareness of. But I feel like I have more subtleties now. Yeah.
Really feel a palpable level of stillness in the room. The stillness gets really palpable like this. If I'm holding group meditation, I normally would go into really subtle, so making a space for the subtle sense of self, preconceptual, senses of self that have a slight, small contrast between themselves and emptiness. Very gentle inquiry, not very dramatic. Seeing that contrast is really important for allowing them to unify. Really subtle sense of self and what's silent also changes the experience of that silence. Gives a greater realization of what that silence actually is or isn't. What I is or isn't. And whenever I'm speaking, you don't even have to hear the words. Just keep noticing. What's happening in your body. Energy movement, physical sensation. Experience in space. It's calm and still. Whatever it is that's having the experience. And I invite us to take a break. some tea, or you just